Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I am IATF qualified auditor doing audit for the automotive sector for the last 18 years. I'm again back with a very interesting topic in the FMEA series that while implementing FMEA first edition, what are the key challenges that industry is facing? What can be the possible causes for that? And what are the possible solutions so that we can take care of these possible challenges? So when we talk about challenges, if we talk about the recent times, we all know that COVID is around us. And in spite of wearing mask, having double vaccination, following social distancing, still we are not very sure that whether we are safe from the COVID or not. But does it mean that we'll allow the COVID to fight over us, win over us, or we'll continue our fight over that and we'll make sure that we are going to win over COVID? Something similar is with FME also. Even though it was released more than 2 years back in June 2019, but still its effectiveness or its implementation is very low. So let me share you 6 key reasons that why, what are the key reasons that why it is low, what are the possible causes for that, and what can be the possible solutions for that. So the first and the most important reason is the clarity about the actual date of implementation. So what are the possible causes for that? So if you look into page number 22 of clause 135 of FMU first edition, even though there is a transition policy which has been specified, but if you look into it, there is no very clear guideline that, okay, from this date, we all need to implement the new version only. Little bit ambiguity is there. So what can be done with respect to that? So as a user, what we can do is that we can decide our own internal target date, or maybe we can collaborate with the OEMs or tier one, whomsoever is our customer, and we can decide for a transition guideline so that we can effectively implement it. The second key challenge is with respect to IAT subscribing OEMs who are actually driving all these standards and the core tools. So if you see their customer specific requirement, there is no clear cut guideline that is coming with respect to implementation of FMEA first edition. And some of the possible causes with respect to that includes that in spite of this version coming 2 years back, majority of the cases you will not find the CSR is getting updated with respect to FMEA. And unofficially, there are many OEMs who are actually rejecting the FMEA which is being made as per the latest version by their suppliers because they are themselves not very competent about it. So what can be the possible solution with respect to that? So first of all, I think all the IAT subscribing OEMs should decide to have clear-cut timeline with respect to implementation of FMEA first edition. And very recently, if you look into it, some of the key OEMs like Ford, Renault, and Stellantis, they have clearly specified about implementation of FMEA first edition. Then maybe AIG and VDA can demand all the key OEMs that they need to update their CSR and make sure that it is being clearly specified the actual date of implementation. Even though there are some other OEMs, maybe say Maruti Suzuki or TVS Motorcycle and some others who have started demanding now their suppliers to implement FMEA first edition. Now to talk about the third key challenge, and the third key challenge is with respect to the clarity, the complexity about this FMEA first edition. Unlike the fourth edition, in this edition, if you see, you will find more than 100 new pages, including MSR, which was not there in the previous version. So that has added to a little bit more complexity. So what are the possible causes that why people are finding it difficult? So first, more pages. Second, even if you look into the previous version of FMEA 4th edition, there was no clarity with respect to failure mode, causes, failure effects. And at earlier version also, the target date for RPN was decided that we want this much number of RPN, and based on that we were deciding what severity, occurrence and detection ranking, not the other way around. And there were many other challenges. And with this coming of the new version, the change, the problem still remained the same. But then if we talk about the solution, we must know and understand that change is the only constant thing in life. So when this new version has come, although it is important to understand that yes, it is difficult to understand, but then we need to see that what best we can do with respect to that. Maybe a good training can help the organization, and then once the couple of people are getting training, they can in turn train some more people, because when we actually give the training, we learn more than the person who is actually getting the learning done with respect to that. And self learning can be another thing. And in some organizations, some incentives are also being given for effectively implementing the FMEA, so that can be considered as another important area. The fourth and the most important reason is that for top management it is still not a focus area. And what are the possible causes for that? One of the key reasons is that, first of all, management does not link FMEA with improvement in quality, improvement in delivery, improvement in cost. So unless and until this FMEA becomes a direct linkage with QCD, quality, cost, and delivery, it will be very difficult to engage the top management with respect to that. Then the next thing is that, even though if you talk about the FMEA first edition, they are talking about how to link FMEA effectiveness with cost of quality, which is related to the appraiser cost and the preventive cost. So unless and until top management starts looking FMEA from that perspective, things will not happen. And in majority of the cases, whenever management review meeting is being done, hardly there is any input with respect to the potential field failures, the proposed recommended action which are coming out from the FMEAs. And even if they are there is no great effort into understanding that what kind of challenge that it can give to the organization with respect to not effectively implementing FMEA. So what can be done with respect to that? So first of all, there can be a very good and clear linkage of cost of quality and cost of poor quality, which is related to internal and external failures. Then there can be another linkage of effective implementation of FMEA with warranty, with respect to recall, with respect to how the bottom line is getting improved in the organization level. And there can be some target cost which can be seen, that how the FMEA is reducing the target cost of the product. That can be another reason with respect to that. To talk about the fifth key reason is that, in general, organizations or the users don't feel or don't find any tangible benefit that is coming out from implementing the FMEA. What can be the possible causes for that? So first of all, the customers do not give much importance to FMEA. Whatever good, bad FMEA the supplier is making and giving to the customer is not very interested to understand that. Then whatever is happening in the organization, maybe any 4M change, any warranty issues, maybe anything related to the safety, anything which is a learning that is not coming as an input to FMEA. So when it is not going there as an input, so it is not going to impact in any way, and customer and the organization don't feel that there is any benefit they are getting out of it. And still, in many organizations, FMEA and the table and all those things are considered to be something fancy to just impress the customers and the auditors, and not actually for their own tangible benefits. So what can be the possible solutions for that? So first of all, in APQP, all the 5 phases, FMEA should be included in such a way that how it can work with respect to the defect prevention. That can be one of the way for implementation. And then we can see the effective implementation of FMEA in terms of the performance of the organization with respect to their robustness, effectiveness, efficiency, and improvement in the bottom line. And maybe in the customer audits as well as the supplier PPAP, that can be given a lot of importance, so that we can see that how the rejections, how the variations are getting reduced in the organization by effectively implementing the FMEA. And the sixth and the last very important reason is with respect to the competency of the user. Because unless and until the person who is actually using the FMEA is not understanding FMEA, then it is not going to serve any purpose. So what can be the possible causes with respect to that? First of all, in majority of the organization, there is no formal training which is being given with respect to FMEA. The understanding from the previous version was very low. So how we can expect the people will understand in this new version? And some of the key inputs like block diagram, parameter diagram, process flow chart, etc., they are still not being considered as a very important input for considering and for implementing FMEA. So what can be the possible solutions for that? So first of all, we should focus more on the trainings, effectively implementation of those trainings, that whether the training is actually serving some purpose. Maybe the organization can think about giving some incentive to the people. That can be a part of the annual appraisal part, that how much benefit the organization is getting by effectively implementing. That can maybe instigate the people to work more with respect to their competency and working more with respect to effective implementation of the FMEA. So if I do a summary, I talked about the 6 key things which are the key challenges that industry is facing, their possible causes, and what can be the possible solutions that can be implemented in the organization, which included the implementation by the user, the non-clarity with respect to the date of implementation, no clear guidelines coming from IT subscribing OEM, involvement of the top management, competency of the people, and no tangible benefit which people feel coming out with respect to the effective implementation of FMEA. My next video will be in this series of FMEA, and that will be about action priority, which is a new terminology in comparison to the RPN which was used in the previous version. So I'll be talking a little bit more about that. Regularly, I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side, and they are helping me to understand your expectations. So please do continue that. And in case you want to understand about this video a little bit more in detail, if you see, you'll find a link below, and by clicking that, you'll find a blog there. And there you will find this information in much more detail. And in case you are liking these kind of videos and blogs, you can share it with your friends and colleagues, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website, bhavyamangla.com. Thank you.